Pulls one off. Joe Burrow led Cincinnati Bengals teams 1-9 in weeks 1 and 2. We'll call it 2-9 because 17-16 in what was a slog up north. Cleveland Browns unable to get any offense going. Cincinnati doing just enough. Burrow completing 14 passes for 113, but the only stat that matters, a tally in the win column. All right, JJ, style points not required when you're trying to undo so much as what has been from this win if you're Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, you finally win in September. You win at the start of the year, right? Zach Taylor coming into this as a head coach, 1-11 in his first 2 games of a season. And so, yeah, it was ugly. And maybe if the Cleveland Browns had a kicker who could make an extra point or a 36-yard field goal, right? That's a swing of 4 points that they could have had. In fact, right before, the Browns shouldn't have even had a chance right there. There shouldn't have even been the interception because the Bengals should have been able to run out the clock, get a first down, and end the game. So still a number of errors. Yes, you're 1-0 on the board, and you're happy about that. But the way this game ended, you don't feel good about it if you're the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah. Well, most importantly for Cincinnati, they won. It was an ugly game, but this is what you expect when you see Cleveland and Cincy face off.
Sure.
And this has been the calling card for the Cleveland Browns. They're like the cardiac kids when they're playing against AFC North opponents, especially in the month of September. They find ways to make games extremely dicey, and they will have you biting your nails late in the fourth quarter. But one bright spot for the Cincinnati Bengals, yes, it was a 1-point victory, but the defense made plays, right? Yes, they went against Joe Flacco. I understand, but they needed something positive to happen in their favor, and this could be a jump start in moving forward because I don't expect Joe Burrow to have the struggles that we saw today. I don't expect Joe Burrow to be harassed by Myles Garrett week in and week out. That's not going to happen. Jamar Chase is going to show up to the party. T. Higgins is going to show up to the party. Chase Brown is going to show up to the party. But they didn't have the party like they wanted to have, but they still found a way to celebrate.
Did you overlap with Flacco?
Yes. Flacco's been playing since 97.
How long it's been. Pat, it's a good point about the defense, though. So many questions. We're saying the Bengals are going to have to score 40 points a game to walk away with wins this year. What do you take away from the defensive performance?
Definitely pleased to see the defense come out of this game with the performance that they did today. Don't know the numbers on the third down conversions initially right now, but for the most part, when you're able to win on the defensive side of the ball, you're able to build confidence.
Yeah.
And now with Joe Burrow, we know the weapons that they have on the offensive side of the ball. Now those guys are just going to have to kick it in the first gear. And they did something that they haven't done in a while, win in week 1.
Yeah.
You know, so if these guys can get the ball rolling, get back into the groove that they was in last year, and the defense can play like they did how they played today, maybe the Cincinnati Bengals will get back to the top.
And technically, the defense won the ball game.
Yeah.
Right? The interception early on, but the game-winning interception that led to them kneeling out the football game was a huge play for them.
Because if I tell you that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to have a game where Joe Burrow has 113 passing yards and that Jamar Chase will have 2 catches for 26 yards.
It should be a loss.
It should be a loss.
Yeah, hands down.
No disrespect to Joe Flacco, second oldest quarterback in the NFL, second oldest player in the NFL. Coming up on CBS Sports HQ, we take you to the eldest statesman as Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers walk out of MetLife with a win. A look at Joe Burrow's numbers, 1-4. Here with a win in week 1. They don't ask how, just how many, and the Bengals tally their first.
Pedro's parents got more than they bargained.
Touchdowns. How awesome is this debut for you? And you broke an 11-year streak of week 1 losses for this franchise.
Yeah, it was fun. Fun day. Good start. I think put in a lot of work in training camp and then come out here and play well. So it was good. It was a good start for us. I thought the defense played awesome. The turnovers in the first half, we were able to convert to points, and then we got up and we were able to run the ball. The guys up front did a great job, so a lot of credit to them. But yeah, it feels good, and we'll look to build on it.
Spread the ball around, but how about the rookie Tyler Ward? He's acting like he's been here before.
Yeah, it's not a surprise to us. We've been seeing that all training camp, but he played well today. Really big. I thought down there was a tough no call there, but he played great, and yeah, he's an awesome football player.
As you look ahead to week 2 against the Broncos, what excites you most about what this team can do as you continue to build chemistry?
Well, I think there's still a lot that we can improve on and grow with. I think it's a talented football team, a lot of guys who can make plays, and like you said, Tyler had a great game. A lot of guys played well today, and we've got a lot more guys who can make plays too. So we'll look to continue to grow and develop and build this offense.
Congrats.
All right, thanks.
Danny Dimes having a day to start the season here. Much was made about that depth chart in the offseason, and it's Jones who gets the nod, and Jones who takes full advantage. 250 plus, a touchdown and 2 on the ground. It's Jones, his battery mate and Anthony Richardson, Gardner Minshew, and Jacoby Brissett. A day to remember for the new Indy QB. Back in studio with the guys, and really 2 stories to be told. I want to start on a positive note because we got a new season here. So, Mac, let's start with Indy. What did you see from Daniel Jones, his command of that offense early?
Well, early on right now, 1 week of play, I don't want to jump the gun just yet, but it's looking like Daniel Jones could be the Sam Darnold of 2025 in terms of a new acquisition, jumping into a new situation, becoming the starter, and not looking back. They wrote Daniel Jones off like they wrote Sam Darnold off. Yep. He didn't write back Sam Darnold. And it's looking like Danny Dimes didn't write back either. But this was a big game because you talked about jumping into this starting lineup. They're looking for some type of quarterback production, being able to sustain a high level of play. And he jumped out of the gate and didn't look back at all. I love the way he commanded the huddle. He orchestrated the offense, went through his progressions, and he was able to distribute the football to 7 different players on the offensive end, led with Michael Pittman Jr. and Tyler Warren. So this is a good sign for Indy moving forward. Not to mention they haven't won a game week 1 since 2014. It's been a long, long time coming for Indy fans in terms of having something to celebrate during week 1. They're celebrating today.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming for the Indianapolis Colts right now. They haven't won a ball game in week 1, like you said, and God knows how long. But these guys found a way to it seemed like they found their quarterback in Daniel Jones. He looked very comfortable in the pocket, finding 7 different receivers. And it just looked like they had a control of that ball game the entire game. Taylor running the air out of the football. So when the Colts are able to put together a balanced attack, this is a resort that you possibly can get.
External expectations and internal, JJ, are always different. Externally, I don't want to say rudderless or directionless, but Indianapolis, a lot of question marks. It feels like maybe they defined a direction on this day.
And you know what? I actually think that the external noise was not warranted for the Indianapolis Colts. When they chose Daniel Jones over Anthony Richardson, you mean to tell me that folks in that building that put their livelihoods on Anthony Richardson didn't want him to go win that job in training camp? They gave him every opportunity to. He ultimately did not, and they gave the job to someone who did win it. And yes, you have the jokes about Daniel Jones, and it clearly didn't work out with the New York Giants, but he took a gap year. He took a sabbatical. He went to Kevin O'Connell's rehab for broken quarterbacks, and he was able to sign that 1-year contract, about $13, $14, $15 million a year, and he goes to Indianapolis with pieces, right? We have been wondering, why won't the Colts compete in the AFC South? They have the pieces, and we just saw how he was dropping dimes to Pierce and Michael Pittman Jr., and Jonathan Taylor running the rock. They can win, especially against a team. You talk about rudderless. Maybe we should have used that word for their opponents.
And we do have plenty of games to get to as games are going final, but a quick thought here on Miami from my DBs, just maybe put a number to the concern level coming out of one game, Pat.
Very concerned about the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, we've been hearing the stories coming out of the Miami camp all year saying that they didn't have a very physical camp. Every team that came in there in the jointed practice pretty much bullied them. Yep. And we saw it again here today, only putting up 8 points in their first game of the week.
I know it's week 1. There's a lot of football left to be played.
Where they going?
Home.
I thought it said week 1, pick one, but let's not get out ahead of ourselves here because home is the only
election. It might be a long year for Miami.
From a performance like this, largest win in a season opener is Sunday ranks as the 3rd largest in Colts franchise history. Bengals week 1 exploits, well detailed, trying to pull off a win here inside 2 minutes. It's